Tattoo Tony, and here we are back at the abandoned Horace Mann School in Gary, Indiana. These are some photographs that Andrew took of us and of rooms in the section of the school that we will be exploring today. This stuff you're seeing now will probably be at the 5-something minute mark. We make it upstairs into the drafting and art rooms. Horace Mann School is fantastic, giant, mind-blowing, and full of cool stuff. There's already 3 parts to this video on the channel, so if you haven't had a chance to watch those, go ahead and stay tuned, but go back and watch those for sure. Wanted to also mention very quickly that I've lost a couple larger Patreon supporters, and I'm trying to save revenue to take a trip near the end of next month to get a bunch of new cool footage, maybe some abandoned psychiatric hospitals and some other stuff I've got my sights set on, maybe a big amusement park. And the Patreon support really helps allow us to continue to travel and come up with new stuff. September's a really busy month for me, as are possibly the first week or two of October. So if I'm a little bit slow responding to stuff and taking care of things, that's why. I apologize. I am working to make sure, though, that I still give you guys a couple good videos to watch every week. So if you enjoy the 300 probably plus videos I've already put up, and you could find it in your heart to help us continue, or if it's an option for you, you can find the link to Patreon. If you drop down the description of the video, there's a link that'll take you there, and you can choose to make a monthly donation of $1, $3, really whatever you want. Also, in the banner on my channel page, there's a link to donate via PayPal, a one-time donation. So anyways, wanted to thank all my supporters. Their names will roll at the end of the video so you can see the Patreon supporters at least. But I want to thank each and every one of you. Everybody that watches the videos, likes, comments, subscribes, thank you very much. You're helping me continue to provide you with these videos. So anyways, enough about that. Also, if you drop down the description, you'll find all our other links. T-shirt store, Andrew sells, got a few shirts up.
I'll holler at you if there is.
So I've been in a bunch of abandoned schools, and this is by far in the top. I showed you 2 swimming pools.
There's a big room. There's not much in it, but there's a couple things.
I've showed you a big, cool music room. There's all kinds of stuff in the schools. I can't wait till we get to the parts that show you the science rooms.
Come on, dude.
In the auditorium. So shortly here, we'll be making it up the stairs. That was a pretty cool stool right there. I just like the color and the worn wood on top. By the way, guys, if I sound a little different, it might be because I've got a cold and I feel like crud. I'm getting a little bit behind on my work, and I chose to do some extra napping today to try to recoup. Anyways, Gary, Indiana was an old steel town. It was actually founded by U.S. Steel, and it never really became anything but a steel town, and its fate was completely tied to the steel industry. And so, as the 60s maybe started to roll into the 70s, and there was a decline in the American steel industry, Gary declined as well, because its fortunes were completely tied. And as people left Gary, in search of jobs because they no longer employed the same amount of people as they had in the past. Buildings started to be left abandoned. People that stayed were poorer. There wasn't as much work. It's a domino effect. Not as much money being spent in the community at restaurants and stores and buying new shoes for your kids and all that type of good stuff, where the well-paid steel workers were able to spend money in the community. Also, it probably shrunk the city's tax base, not only from homeowners and consumers and sales tax, but also from the steel industry itself, because the business was not making as much money and not as profitable. So Gary probably was at one point about 300,000 people or near that. The last census they claim to be about 80,000. I kind of have trouble seeing that there's 80,000 now, although I could be wrong. But it's block after block in most of the city of decay and abandonment everywhere you look. And there's also a lot of empty, overgrown lots where things used to stand. You can see the evidence, maybe a little bit of a sidewalk or a drive going into overgrown brambles. I really like the peeling paint in this room. So guys, this was a drafting room. There was actually tons of squares or T's, for making 90-degree angles in these schools, like new in the package. Most of the drafting supplies had probably been taken. You'll see some blue speedball ink here. There were still sections in one of the schools that I believe may have had drafting tables left. See some paper, new in the package, still wrapped, tons of them. Just going to waste. I mean, that's terrible. I thought about buying one of those before I draw, and what I would have had to spend on one. Why don't they have a giant sale or auction the stuff off? Talked about that before, so I won't spend too much time on the waste that's incredulous. I'm incredulous to the waste. And I'm not being facetious. I wanted to throw a couple words in there to try to make myself sound smart, because I sound like a redneck so much of the time. But anyways, yeah, there's some drafting tables and stools and old computers and monitors and Really cool stuff left behind.
Andrew, dude, are you seeing all this? Hey, check this out. Come here, I want to show you something. Did you photograph that drafting room? Back there? Like all the cool stuff? Yeah, did you get blank for a second? I think it's all dude, look how old this is now. Right. Okay.
It's set up like a glass.
No way. Dude, you gotta give me some good slide caps for thumbnails.